Well, listen. If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek.
Welcome to AYT Fatima Vlogs. Whoopi Goldberg spent years reigning over The View like a queen on her throne, shutting down, guests steamrolling opposing voices, and tossing out her opinions as if they were set in stone. But in one shocking episode, her iron grip on daytime TV crumbled in real time, all thanks to Karoline Leavitt. No one saw this coming. The episode started like any other smug laughter eye.
Script.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Roles in the usual panel of nodding heads, all in perfect sync with the show's left-leaning script. Whoopi confident as ever, sat back, ready to dominate. Yet another discussion. Then came the topic: wokeness, a word that The View practically worships, a concept they defend like their entire brand depends on it because, well, kind of does. Feeling untouchable, Whoopi took the first jab, her signature smirk in full effect. She pointed a card Karoline and declared, "Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job." And just like that, boom, the energy.
I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good. It was so good. In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you-know-who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you? Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then...
In the room shifted hard. The audience tensed. Even Joy Behar, who's made a career out of sneering at conservatives, fidgeted in her seat. The moment was thick with anticipation. Everyone braced themselves for what came next, and let's just say, Whoopi was not ready for the response she was about to get. This wasn't just a disagreement. It wasn't some harmless back and forth debate. This was Whoopi Goldberg taking a direct shot at Karoline Leavitt's entire career, her intelligence, her work ethic, reducing everything she had achieved to nothing more than a product of the very ideology she opposed. It was condescending, dismissive, and designed to discredit her completely. And yet, despite the obvious insult, the audience clapped along like they were on autopilot. Some even chuckled, though there was a hesitation in the air, a subtle discomfort that suggested they knew Whoopi had gone too far, but weren't sure whether they were allowed to admit it. But Karoline didn't flinch. She didn't fumble or look for a way out. She didn't rush to defend herself or scramble for a clever comeback. No, she did something far more powerful. She smiled, that slow, knowing smile that spoke volumes, the kind that said, "Oh, you just made a big mistake." It wasn't cocky or overconfident. It was the expression of someone who knew she had the facts, the receipts, and the presence of mind to completely turn the tables. And with a level of calm so unshakable, it was almost unnerving. She did exactly that. This was unlike anything the audience had seen before. And by the way, if you're loving this showdown, don't forget to like and subscribe, because we're about to go even deeper into this explosive moment. Karoline started with the numbers, cold, hard facts that couldn't be brushed off with a sarcastic remark or a dismissive wave of the hand. She laid out government spending reports, detailing exactly how taxpayer dollars were being funneled into absurdly woke Initiatives programs like
most divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world. You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other
gender studies. In Guatemala foreign Sesame Street, adaptations designed to push American social activism abroad, and countless other examples that raise more questions than answers with precision. She connected the dots, making it impossible to deny that wokeness had evolved from a simple social movement into something much bigger, a political weapon used to silence, control, and punish those who dare to challenge it. And Whoopi, she wasn't laughing anymore. The woman who had built a career on dominating conversations, shutting down conservative voices, and steamrolling through uncomfortable topics was suddenly on the defensive. She shifted in her seat, the usual smirk noticeably absent, her hands moving as if searching for something to latch on to. Whoopi was used to guests fumbling over their words, struggling to push back against the rapid-fire retorts. But this time she wasn't in control. Even if she wanted to clap back to steer the discussion back in her favor, she couldn't, because Karoline wouldn't let her. And at that moment, everyone watching could see it for the first time in a long time. Whoopi Goldberg was backed into a corner, and there was no easy way out. Whoopi opened her mouth, then shut it, opened it again. Nothing. The words just weren't coming. The audience, usually quick to cheer on her quips, sat frozen in an awkward silence. Even the most devoted View fans in the crowd didn't know how to react. The energy in the room had shifted completely, and for once the audience wasn't sure if they were supposed to laugh, clap, or just wait for Whoopi to say something, anything to regain control. Even the camera crew hesitated. Do they zoom in on Whoopi's stunned face, capturing the exact moment she realized she had backed herself into a corner, or do they cut the commercial and hope no one noticed? Whoopi, usually so quick with a snarky remark or a dismissive wave of the hand, sat stiffly in her chair, looking like she wanted to sink right into it. She had walked straight into a trap.
Well, you know, listen. If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 Right. That's what you hear.
Yeah.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say, they talk at you, not to you. And that's what she was doing. And she was doing it, and it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the...
And there was no easy way out, because here's the real question: if wokeness is truly about diversity and inclusion, why is it that conservative women are always the ones being attacked? Why is it that the very people who preach tolerance suddenly turn ruthless when faced with someone who doesn't toe the ideological line? Right now, in real time, Whoopi Goldberg is realizing she has no comeback, no clever remark, no fiery retort to turn the tables in a favor. The silence stretches uncomfortably long, and everyone feels it, desperate to recover. Joy Behar jumps in, forcing out a nervous joke in a last-ditch attempt to break the tension, but the damage is already done. Whoopi had just done something even she had never done before. She had completely unraveled on live television. Well, you know. And the internet, the internet had a field day with its memes. Reaction clips, endless commentary within. Minutes the moment was everywhere, and Whoopi's stunned reaction was being replayed on loop across social media. But here's where things get even crazier, because this wasn't the first time Whoopi's mouth had written a check she couldn't cash over the years she has turned The View into an absolute lawsuit, magnet dragging ABC into controversy after controversy from her tone-deaf remarks about the Holocaust to her bizarre defenses of questionable figures. Whoopi has been at the center of some of the show's biggest scandals, but nothing hit the network harder than the recent defamation lawsuits. First at
You saw live on this program yesterday. Joy Behar stirring the pot of controversy after saying this about Karoline.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Do you want to take this?
So you cannot be attractive and smart? I will try to give Joy the benefit of, oh, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing, because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her own.
I mean, you would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Karoline Leavitt before she made that remark. Because Karoline Leavitt worked, I mean, she went to St. Anselm College, she worked for WMUR
Ran for
TV.
Congress?
In New Hampshire, she ran for Congress at the age of 25, put on a very good campaign. She lost by 8 or 9 points, but she still put on a good campaign. Then she was the press secretary for the Trump campaign, going on TV literally every day.
Well, heavily pregnant and a new mom.
Pregnant. Yeah, she's a new mother. And then she goes out yesterday and gives and this, again, this is speaking very objectively, because I've watched every press secretary since going back to Marlon Fitzwater. Yeah, I'm that old. And she went out there for her very first briefing at the age of 27 years old, the youngest press secretary ever.
Laugh, clap, or just wait for Whoopi to say something. Anything to regain control. Even the camera crew hesitated. Do they zoom in on Whoopi's stunned face, capturing the exact moment she realized she had backed herself into a corner, or do they cut the commercial and hope no one noticed? Whoopi, usually so quick with a snarky remark or a dismissive wave of the hand, sat stiffly in her chair looking like she wanted to sink right into it. She had walked straight into a trap, and there was no easy way out, because here's the real question: if wokeness is truly about diversity and inclusion, why is it that conservative women are always the ones being attacked? Why is it that the very people who preach tolerance suddenly turn ruthless when faced with someone who doesn't toe the ideological line? Right now, in real time, Whoopi Goldberg is realizing she has no comeback, no clever remark, no fiery retort to turn the tables in a favor. The silence stretches uncomfortably long, and everyone feels it, desperate to recover. Joy Behar jumps in, forcing out a nervous joke in a last-ditch.
I'd like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here. Oh, yeah. Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job. Yeah. Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it, and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was...
Carrie Underwood, then Elon Musk, and now Karoline Leavitt, one after another. The lawsuits piled up, and the cost of Whoopi's unchecked commentary was getting harder and harder for ABC to ignore. In the worst part this time, Whoopi had no one to blame but herself. Let's talk about Carrie Underwood when she performed at Trump's second swearing. In ceremony, Whoopi and her co-hosts pounced like vultures. They didn't just criticize her performance, they went all in, mocking her, sneering that she had destroyed her career, and even going so far as to suggest she had aligned herself with hate. The segment was brutal, an outright character assassin, and they expected Carrie to just take it and move on, but Carrie, she did something no one saw coming, usually one to stay far away from drama. She didn't issue a statement, she didn't post a vague tweet. She filed a $1 billion defamation lawsuit against The View, and when the case finally made it to court, something explosive surfaced that no one, not even Whoopi, was prepared for. That leaked emails revealed that ABC had planned the attack on Underwood to boost ratings. It wasn't just a casual discussion gone too far, it was orchestrated